And what is the total payment for GlobeNet? And should this be a capital expenditure?
Mr. Chairman, we'll be paying GlobeNet, which is to the ICT connections, a monthly rental or monthly fee, service fee of $72,750 US, which will take us to an annual charge of $873,000 US, and in Guyana dollars that comes up to $178,965,000.
Sorry, I recognize in the following order the members, Ms. Lawrence, Mr. Bassett Williams, Mr. Desmond Troutman, Mr. Christopher Jones, Ms. Ferguson, and I see Dr. Reminder, Mr. Felix. So Ms. Lawrence, you may ask the question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, line 6116. I know that the staffing details of page 30 that there is an increase. So the Honorable Minister kindly indicate which position became vacant is the remuneration for that position.
Mr. Chairman, we've had in this program we've had people who joined and we've had people who left. Details, so we can go. For example, sir, last year in this program we did not have the permanent secretary included in this program. The permanent secretary is now included. We have 2 admin assistants who would have joined, a senior technical officer, and a supply expediter. Persons who would have been transferred to other programs or left would have been a research assistant, a confidential secretary, 2 accounts clerk, 1 office assistant, and 1 administrative assistant.
Mr. Chair, follow-up. Could the Honorable Minister kindly indicate on which line item last year the permanent secretary was placed?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. He was paid through the P Public Service Ministry.
Mr. Chair, the same line item, could the Honorable Minister indicate to the House why the $6 million increase in this line item?
Mr. Chairman, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Chairman, this has to do with the 5% increase, but also because of the movement of staff and the differentials in salary. For example, the permanent secretary would have come in with a higher level staff with a higher remuneration, and so it's a matter of switching places and the staff, the salary that position at transfer.
Mr. Chair, through you, could the Honorable Minister kindly relay the National Assembly designation and the remuneration for each position at 6116.
All the positions? Yeah.
Yes, 6116.
Mr. Chairman, could I be guided? How I
Clean up, we're going to that people vote it.
Well, remember that if the minister to live in writing, can do so in an instant.
No, we're not asking you to do that.
Okay, I thought it was Friday. If it is that it could be, the minister may choose how to
I have to mail it within.
Again, I'm saying 2 minutes, so this is aside from the question now. If it could be sent electronically as well, you don't mind, because that will be made to all the members. Access is up there. But once the minister gives an undertaking that they could do it, right, that seems to be what the members consider.
Mr. Chair, just to remind the House that this particular line item is on Mr. Greenidge's motion to the House for reduction. So I just would like to remind
Well,
the
but if there's a request we'll have to go into recess to allow it to be printed and circulated. But if it is that we are just asking for the information to be provided and then go straight into voting, it means that the request was not a genuine request for information. But if it is that you genuinely would like to go through that information to be able to make a decision, I will have to recess to provide it, but I will not with respect put this into the vote knowing that there's a request information. It tells me that the request was a perfunctory one, it doesn't. I would like to know that the minister has made an effort and he's prepared to do so to provide the information.
Mr. Chairman, if I could invite it, I'm prepared to read it out. If the public is prepared to receive it.
Yeah, but there's a request to be in writing, not to be audibly given.
I was just following
Mr. Lawrence, we need some guidance from you, please, because if it is that it is a matter that is listed for amendment, so to speak, and there has been a request for the information to be supplied in written form, I would have to, the minister either to have the Parliament office staff do the photocopy quickly, or I would take a recess, because, but the decision is yours.
Chair, I don't think the decision lies with me because I'm just barely making notification that I take on the list for election. But can I pose my question 626?
But then, no, honorable members, with respect, I would have to go into recess to allow the photocopy to be done. Because if a decision as to amend or not amend hangs on the availability, no, well, Ms. Lawrence did advert my mind to the fact that this matter is on the list. And I would want to give both sides of the House the same equal and fair opportunity to ask them to supply information. One second on the finances, I recognize the chair first.
The other member referred to Mr. Greenidge's motion.
Yes.
Having a cut for 6.16.
That is what I heard.
That's what you and I both heard. However, it's not on Mr. Greenidge's motion, it's on Mr. Ramjitan. And therefore Mr. Ramjitan would have to indicate his position.
You understand your position because I will not allow us to go through any superficial exercise. If the information is sought and it is sought in a particular format, I am going to ensure that that form is provided because we're not going to try anything else to say of going through the motion.
I agree with you. And that is part and parcel of the convention in relation to being rational. I understand that. But it is rather simple explanation now. From 37 million to 43, and they have reduced contracted employees.
Mr. Ramjitan, my sense was that the information that he was going to want to write.
I would like him to
The minister
out the
was about to give the information for us,
Thank you very much.
but made him to do it in written form. He was about to do it in order. That's correct.
Information required.
Yes, Mr. Ramjitan said he will keep it orderly. Go ahead.
An accountant, 84,565. Chief accountant, 102,367. $6116. Sorry. 6116, I was reading it in another line. Accounts clerk, 54,000. $5,619. Admin assistant, $73,500. Assistant field auditor, $79,448. Cleaner, $42,982. Clerk 2, $47,605. Driver, $66,736. Driver expediter, $66,736. Information technology officer, $66,736. Maintenance superintendent, $69,355. Office assistant, $42,983. Thank you, sir. $532,980. Pool attendant, $42,983. Secretary typist, $45,575. Senior technical officer, $210,000. Storekeeper, $70,563. Telephonist, $47,620. Typist clerk, $47,622. Supply expediter, $41,083.
Ms. Lawrence?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would still like for my own purpose to have the information in written form. Thank you. Mr. Chair, 6264. The Honorable Minister indicated that how is the number of vehicles.
Mr. Speaker, the answer to that is 75, sir.
Follow up, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, could the minister kindly indicate how many vehicles were added for the year 2012?
Sir, 12 vehicles were added while some were retired.
Could we have the number that was retired, and could we also be told whether this particular agency will be purchasing new vehicles for 2013?
Sir, as I understand it, we had 73. 10 were retired and 12 were added to the fleet. As it relates to the purchase of new vehicles, that will be coming up on the next budget review.
Mr. Chair, then that takes me to line item 6231. Because it is noted that last year, despite the agency forecast that they would be purchasing these vehicles and retiring some, that the budgeted amount increased by almost $10 million. And I note this year that while they're also buying new vehicles, they're only asking us for approximately the last year. My question to the minister is whether this money is adequate or whether we will be seeing a supplemental coming for increased monies to this account.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, you would appreciate that the older the vehicle, so while we have new vehicles being added, you have consumption and it relates. And I have here a total breakdown of the fuel consumption per vehicle. With our projections, sir, we believe it's adequate at the moment, based on prices and all the rest of it.
Saying at the moment, I think what member needs to find out is, can you anticipate coming back to the House for the supplement position? That is what is.
Our position at this time to that, sir, is no.
Mr. Chair, line item 6281, security services. Could the Honorable Minister kindly indicate which security services used for this department?
Mr. Speaker, the security companies that are engaged is Brand Security Services and BM Soul Security Services.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the same line item. In 2012, the agency asked for some $7 million, but spent $5 million. This year, they're asking us for $48 million. So could the Honorable Minister indicate why the increase?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This has to do with a budgetary allocation for security as it relates to the ICT towers. Our projection, sir, is that between July and December, we will have 30 sites up and running, and we're averaging a cost for security of about $200 per hour, which gives us a budgeted projection of $26,784,000. Between September to December, we'll have another 24 sites running at $800.
1 second. There are others. Mr. Bass Williams has indicated. Mr. Troutman has been waiting for some time. Mr. Christopher Jones, Ms. Ferguson, Mr. Felix,
I yield to Mr.
Mr. Nadamoto, then we'll come back.
Go ahead, first. The honorable member there to but I have a follow-up for 6264, vehicle service. Mr. Chairman, could the honorable minister say whether it's a government policy not to put the government logo on the government vehicles?
Sir, in my living memory, I don't know of a time when the vehicles of the office of the president has ever been marked. With the government logo or anything.
Mr. Williams, maybe you need to put the question a little different.
I was asking Mr. Chairman whether it's a policy of the government that the vehicles in all government departments, all government-owned vehicles, including office of the president, should have a distinct government logo on it. That is one. Like simply. So when you want a 9 o'clock in the morning,
In other jurisdictions, for example, in Barbados, every UCMP, whatever, every government vehicle there's a distinct, plate has it. In Trinidad and Tobago, in Barbados it is. I'm saying in Barbados. I'm not saying. I lived in Barbados for several years, and I can tell you I know what I'm speaking about. And in Trinidad and Tobago, for vehicles to go on the priority lane, there is a mark, but that's a different thing.
The question is whether there's a policy. So that's my question.
Mr. Chairman, I think we're all very aware in this House that government vehicles in ministry are marked, whether it's Government of Ghana, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Finance, except the minister's vehicle. It has been the practice that the vehicles that are at the office of the president has never carried that mark as it relates to our history in this country.
That is fair for government to decide, but I don't think that we could compare it. I And the truth is, in these days of the security concerns and so forth, it may not be the best thing to have your vehicle marked. Quite frankly. Go ahead,
Mr. Chair, like item 6294, order. It was budgeted 9 million under the state. They spent only 7 million. They're asking for 30 million. But the Honorable Minister indicated they'd like that substantial increase. What items of expenditure they are contemplated under the state this year?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. This projected expenditure, budgeted expenditure, has to do with the ICT program. And this is dealing with redundancy. Where we are projecting a total payment of $103,000 US $850, or equivalent of $21,289,250.
Follow up, Mr. Chairman. Order 6284. Order. You just told us that 178 million was for ICT also. So why would you just allocate them onto the full heads?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We are paying GlobeNet for services as it relates to the internet connection. This other allocation, as asking by the Honorable Member, is paying for satellite service as it relates to this program. It's two different things altogether. One is paying for a monthly service charge, and the other one is paying for the satellite redundancy to ensure that we're up and running at all times, which is normal practice in any business of this nature.
That would be all for me for now on this.
Thank you, Mr. Desmond Crawford.
Mr. Chairman, my question that we asked my own daughter, Lawrence, Wanda Lawrence, and Honorable Bassett.
Mr. Christopher Jones, honorable member.
Mr. Chairman, line item 6321, subsidies and contributions to local organizations. I noticed from its speaker, the Castellani House, yesterday revised for 9.93 million, and this year request for only 40.07 million. We have a minute.
Mr. Chairman, I thank the Honorable Member for his question. This is because of administrative changes that will take place. Castellani House will only be with the Office of the President until April. From then, it will be with the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Culture. Thank you.
Ms. Ferguson.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. My question was already asked by the Honorable Member, Mr. Williams.
What? Your question has been answered?
Yes, I was saying to you that my question was answered by Mr. Williams.
Mr. Felix?
Ms. Lawrence has asked my question, and it was probably
Mr. Ramzatan?
Yes, that is enough. Get back to the 684. This GlobeNet service that it provides for the tune of 72,000 US a month. I want to be a little more. What services is provided for 72,000 US dollars a month? And who's GlobeNet?
Mr. Chairman, thank you, Honorable Member, for your question. GlobeNet is a Brazilian company, and there is an agreement between the government of Guyana and GlobeNet for the provision of internet services. This STM1 155 megabytes per second service will be activated at a monthly cost of $72,750 US. So we are actually paying for STM1 155 megabytes per second internet connectivity for fiber optic cable link. And the other one is due to satellite redundancy.
Could we be provided with copies of that agreement?
Mr. Chairman, I obviously don't have that agreement with me here, but I'm certainly legal.
I don't think it's wrong, that should let know.
Yes, to be.
They're ready to be provided.
Yes, and the other final question in that score, was this on a competitive bidding process that you got this?
No, well, given the nature of the cable coming from Brazil, it would have been, the connectivity is at that end. And so you
No, I
can't
could
put
understand the
on
Brazilian by getting.
I know you can't put on that to
I don't
tender.
know if there's a nexus in it. But in any event, I'll take a look at the contract.
Mr. Chairman, we will provide a copy of the contract. I will ask for 7 days so we can get that properly in place. But just for the purpose of the House and all concerned, this cable would find its way through Brazil all the way into Miami.
I know.
Thank you.
Well, my follow-up, Mr. Chairman, was really on that, when it was put out to tender. I don't know if the minister could answer, give us some insight into how this company got a contract.
There are not too many companies providing a cable from Brazil. There's one cable that passes through the entire
Only
South
one
America.
company out there.
Thank you for answering, Mr. Chairman, because my answer is no different. There's only one
Cable. The nation is given a choice whether to buy it or not. But there was one cable, and I know this because I was involved in some aspects. I have some knowledge of what was happening. But there's one cable that you can buy it and connect. But to connect is entirely Mr. Go ahead, Mr. Alcock.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Just a follow-up with this cable. Could the Honorable Minister say when will this cable be a reality? Because I'd like to ask also if the Minister is aware that on the way to the Rukununi, there are a number of places where this cable is exposed. So, on the other side, the cable is awaiting connection. So, what time will this, what is it that?
Mr. Chairman, as it relates to the completion date of this project, the Georgetown fiber ring aspect and integration into the Georgetown fiber is to be completed by September 2013. The fiber from Wilson Creek to Eureka will be completed in the second quarter of 2014. GPL completion of new 69 kVA system that has a fiber component, all that is integrated. So we're looking at a completion date for the fiber ring Georgetown, or the attempt to Georgetown by September 2013, and the connectivity of the fiber from Wilson Creek to Eureka by the second quarter of 2014.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to back to my item 6284, which was to be something. I believe that the minister explained that a proportion of this cost, or a large part of the cost, was for the or paying for the services of towers. Am I correct?
Yes, yes.
This is,
The connectivity, sir.
and it is to be, the services to be rented to the first time this year? I'm asking if it's the first time that the services to be had.
The answer to that is yes. That's it.
Mr. Burnett, go ahead. There's one other person within comedy end.
So, Mr. Chairman, I wanted, if it pleases you to turn to 6321, which has to do with the contributions to local and local organizations. Yes, if you want to share, please.
Yes.
But the subsidies are found on pages 398. So go ahead. Draw your attention to the fact that we had long discussions on let me take a turn on the National Communications Network and the quality and coverage of this network together with but anything to understand. And we had sought to engage the government in an exercise intended to extract from the agency and from the government a commitment to survey their work with a view to making it more professional, and also by way of an audit to look at the social and community coverage of this. It hasn't happened. We have no commitment to it happening. And I wonder what it is the government intends to do on their own, if they're satisfied with what purports to be a service meeting national needs and covering national issues. Thank you.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would like to draw members' attention. I think those of us who in our dining room there a certain time last evening, and I think we were seeing on NCN the honorable member, Mr. Carl Brady, I think speaking about making his presentation. And I think, Mr. Speaker, that is a good indication of the fact that the government notice of what is being said.
Mr. Chair. If you indulge me a minute, please. Mr. Greenwich referred to the issue of a matter raised in discussions with the government. And he specifically said the audit and the issue of professionalism of the NCN. Mr. Speaker, this was point 11 on the points presented in opposition to the President in the talks on Monday this week and on Wednesday this week. The talks were inconclusive and the two gentlemen agreed to not continue speaking but be open to continue speaking. So that point 11, we never really got to fully discuss. It is true, the opposition and Mr. Greenwich presented his views, but there was no proper dialogue on that issue. Now, the issue of the audit, the wording of number 11 on the Leader Opposition AFC afternoon did not raise the issue of audit last year, nor on the Commission of Inquiry. That's a brand new issue that came up on the piece of paper presented by the Leader Opposition to the President. Mr. Speaker, we're dealing with the issue of the estimates, and therefore these, if Mr. Greenwich is going to bring in things in the talks, I will have to seek asking your permission to speak on those issues.
Point of order. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, on a point of order, I asked a specific question. I said in the absence of any agreement of this matter. I was very clear. I wasn't asking for today. I mentioned that we'd had discussions last year, nothing emanated from those. And I'm asking now whether the government has a program for dealing with these questions. I don't have to be accused of anything else. I'm simply asking a question.
Yes, the question was in the absence of an a negotiated agreement or whatever, and see that there are no talks, then what is the government's plan, program, policy vis-a-vis these entities? I think that's a question that I ask, if there is one.
Mr. Chairman, to answer the honorable member, thanks for the question. While I'm aware that there is in place at the political level, NCN, the question I think the honorable member wants to know, what is NCN doing itself as it relates to the concerns that would have been raised in the public spaces and the rest of it. I'm happy to report to this National Assembly, sir, that NCN would have written to both the leader of the opposition and to the AFC, inviting them to make appearances on NCN, and they would have received responses from both political parties. I think, in all fairness, last year when I responded on this particular matter, sir, I did say that while we are dissatisfied and those dissatisfactions are being made known, NCN as a national asset must benefit from the collective. NCN must benefit
As a sectional asset.
Mr. Chairman, the answer would bear record that last year I did say that. NCN as a national asset must benefit from the collective participation and recommendations from all that are concerned. And I think the management of NCN has made a deliberate move to seek to open up more time and spaces by even inviting, by even going away, not waiting on a request coming from the opposition, but being proactive in writing to invite the at this stage. I would like to say.
Mr. Speaker, just a matter of clarification. From the time of Mr. Mohammed Sattar, I have been written about participating in certain events in the NCN program. Mr. Sattar, and several letters from Mr. Gordon insisting, A, that they be favorable, that they be equitable coverage, and that the opposition parties be given access. I told him that we were not interested in simply participating in this debate or that debate. We wanted to have access and we wanted to have better coverage. I have a string of letters from Mr. Gordon, and they all say the same thing, but because he writes me about the same thing, I give him the same answer all the time.
Mr. Chairman, and the honorable leader of the opposition for his contribution. But I think it's also public knowledge, or answering Mr. Greenidge's question. I think it's also public knowledge that right now for a new CEO, and that is public knowledge. And they intend to work on a new strategic plan, which will formulate a new broadcast strategy, of which NCN will be happy to benefit from the views and the recommendations of the members of the opposition benches. Thank you very much, sir.
I see Ms. Catherine Hughes is available.
A follow-up question to the Honorable Minister. Minister, since Wednesday, the 14th of March, the Alliance for Change wrote to the CEO of NCN with very, very specific requests regarding equitable coverage of parliamentary parties on NCN. As recent as a month ago, we also wrote requesting availability of a half-an-hour slot. We asked how and what days or times were available, and up to now we have had absolutely no response on any of these issues. The question therefore is, what since last budget to now to ensure that all parliamentary political parties have access to this
there was a meeting with a representative of the Alliance Change and the National Communications Network to discuss the request, but a proposal made by NCN was not accepted or it was not confirmed. It is something that is still open for discussion and still open for discussion.
Mr. William?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Shields dealt with the issue, and I wish to ask her that, one, we're talking about a new board, the NCA, that's one. And two, in terms of the right of reply, in practical ways, it means that somebody must be given the opportunity to reply, for example, to the Attorney General Nandalal when he's ranting and raving and all kinds of things. You must have a right of reply.
I remember I asked that those who are in the on the record, those who are in the remote of the record. Rant and rave are words that one connotes insanity, and I would ask that they be removed from the record.
Mr. Chairman, if you before then, when he's dilating on issues, he's doing that alone. There's no right of reply in any democratic institution. We see that on our televisions coming out of North America, for example. There's always a right to reply. When the president makes an address to the nation in America, immediately thereafter, there's a right of reply by an opposition.
To share and inform the Honorable House on how much advertisement monies. Please give us some information as to how much advertisement monies accumulated to the final days of December last year. Because they're asking for a subvention here, want to know how much advertisement income they made.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the question. Before I give the figure, Mr. Chairman, permit me to say that there must be an admission based upon the comments that were made as it relates to right of reply, that this consideration should be a consideration that goes across the board in our entire journalistic community. It is something that, it is a culture that needs to develop, where reporting must be responsible, free from bias, and we must allow the nation, to make a decision, we must provide the information.
Mr. Speaker, on a point of order, no other television.
Mr. Chair,
one second, the board member. One second, Minister, one second, Madam Deputy Speaker. The Minister is giving a view. That would not arise as a point of order. Is that right? That is his view. There's a right if any other member wishes to correct him after he's finished speaking. That is a view. He did say that NCN is a national asset. That is his view, but it could be reported and replied to after, but it's not. Doesn't write on a point of order. You say that he is violated in his time. So, Minister, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to draw to your attention, I was being shouted at to sit down. I don't know if we allow this kind of disrespectful behavior. I think I'm on the record of never showing that kind of disrespect to any member of this House. Thank you, sir. As it relates to general advertising, to answer the Honorable Member, Mr. Rambutan, in 2012, general advertising, NCN generated $288,962,150.
Mr. Sharma, we will get to you.